right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me once again for Your Business Accelerated. I am your host, Attorney Shaune B. Arnold. And yes, I am a practicing business attorney. I am an attorney in Los Angeles, California. So I want to give you the general disclaimer that if we talk about legal issues, then I am naturally going to couch it in terms of California law because that's what I know. If you live somewhere else, then I invite you to find an attorney in your area to make sure there are no differences between what I'm telling you and what the law is in your jurisdiction. This particular call, Your Business Accelerated, is in listen-only mode because I do actually have a monthly coaching group where we hone in on each other's businesses and act as a mastermind team. And I want to maintain the sanctity of that group. So this is so that you can get an opportunity to really work with me. This call is an opportunity for you to really get to know me and see how I work and how I think, and an opportunity that we might get to know each other better in the future and indeed work together. So tonight I want to talk about formalizing your business relationships. And this is something that is extremely important because we're living in such uncertain times these days that I notice that I'm having conversations with people who are just scared to death. They are scared to death that they're going to land on the sidewalk, and they fear losing their jobs. They fear losing their homes. They fear losing their families. They fear losing their success and their prestige. They are very, very afraid, and as a result, a lot of people are working 2 and 3 jobs for one paycheck. And a lot of people would be happy to work 2 or 3 jobs for just one paycheck. Those people that have been downsized. And also there are a number of people who are going entrepreneurial, and this is just beautiful. The challenge is, or one of the challenges is, that people are using a lot of sweat equity to get things going, and people are also bartering for goods and services. And when you're using sweat equity across the line into someone else's business, and when you're bartering for goods and services and you're not exchanging money, then I have a few ideas that I would like to share with you where I think you need to formalize some of these business relationships just to make sure that you don't wind up holding the bag in the end, either if the business doesn't work or if it works spectacularly, you don't want to get left behind. So I was actually discussing this subject matter with a gentleman we'll call Bill, and he works for a nonprofit organization. And Bill wears a lot of different hats for that nonprofit organization. He does a lot of fundraising. He actually researches grants, and he writes the grants, and he is making cold calls to corporate sponsors and wealthy individuals in an effort to get them to know, like, and trust the organization so that they can eventually give money to the organization. He's doing a lot more than that, though. Bill is also working as an event coordinator. He did a luncheon for the nonprofit organization where he organized the talent and he organized the fundraising, the actual fundraising, and he did it all by himself and still managed to raise $18,000 after their expenses. And so you see, that's no small sum. I want Bill and the folks that he's working with to be aware that it's no small sum and that it was no small feat for Bill. Now, Bill also had the distinction of being a board member And at this time, he's not a board member, but he was previously. With all of these various different hats that Bill is wearing in this company, I wanted him to be very, very clear with himself and also with the people that he's doing business with as to what his various roles are. At this time, he is not a board member, and he is not a formal officer of the company. By officer, I mean president, treasurer, secretary, corporate officer. And because this is a nonprofit startup, Bill is not getting a paycheck, although he's being treated as an employee. And this could be devastating not only for Bill but also for the entity, because that entity really needs to make sure that it has workers' compensation insurance in place, even though Bill is not making a formal salary. If Bill is coming in every day and he's working under the direction of a supervisor, etc., he could arguably make a claim for workers' comp if he were to fall or get injured or sick on the job. So the company needs to make sure that it is very clear about what Bill is doing there and about the precautions that it's taking. You want to make sure that, and it doesn't really matter that I'm using a nonprofit as an example of the company. If this were a for-profit entity, these same notions would apply. Be very, very careful about bringing people into your organization and treating them as an employee without the proper insurance in place, without the proper relationships in place. So not only is he not an officer, no longer sitting on the board, and not getting a paycheck, he is actually doing all of the grant writing and event planning and fundraising, all kinds of things for the company. So my suggestion to Bill is that he sit down with the director of this nonprofit and put it in writing. He needs an employee agreement, even if the compensation is deferred until such time as they're able to get some grant money in or some endowment money in to get started on whatever it is that the nonprofit does as its purpose. He still wants to make sure that all of the various duties that are expected of him are known to all of the parties, because when it is time to get that compensation, Bill doesn't want people to start saying, oh, well, you know, we weren't really serious, we weren't really ready, they choose somebody else. You want to make sure that your compensation is going to be taken care of going forward. So that is the advice that I would give Bill. Make sure that you actually sit down with the director of the company and formally organize an agreement, an employee agreement, even if it contains deferred compensation. And on the nonprofit side, make sure that you've got your insurance in place. If you've got people working in your organization and it looks as though they are being supervised by you and they're not independent contractors who handle their own taxes and their own health insurance and their own falls on the job, then you could wind up in some serious trouble if you don't otherwise get it in writing. So that is the big shoe for today. I want to invite you to follow me on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and Twitter. You can find me as Shaune.Arnold. My first name is spelled Shaune. I can help you start, I can help you build, and I can help you fix your business, step into your purpose, and lead that entrepreneurial lifestyle that you are dying to lead. So those are my social medias, and in the coming weeks on these calls, I am going to have something very exciting and very special to share with you. So keep your eyes, your ears, and your heart open for that, because it's going to allow us to work more closely and fully together on your business. So I am very excited that you joined me today. And yes, this is a very short call. We are just talking about the need to actually formalize your business relationships. Join me next week on Your Business Accelerated, and I also invite you to join me on Legal Biz Cafe. In Your Business Accelerated, we are dealing with some of these hardcore business issues that people are asking me about on a daily basis. And on Legal Biz Cafe, we deal with your mindset as the entrepreneur. So thank you again, my friend, for joining me, and good night.